I am Hoverman Cop, defender of justice, defender of the people, defender of the earth. We all know of the latest police arrest of a couple at the Waffle House at Fort Walton Beach, Florida. At the Waffle House, the customers had a complaint of being overcharged, and the cashier or the employee at that establishment indicates that was not the case. The dispute was between $1 or $2.50 charge. And I want you to follow me closely, and I'll repeat that again. What caused all of this was a dispute over $1 or $2.50. Think about that. And before I go further, I want to tell you that I am going to discuss detailed scenarios within the body camera footage that was released from this police officer in the agency. And I'm going to tell you some details that you can avoid being arrested, because it seems as though many are still being arrested. And these arrests could be avoided by the citizens or the customers at these establishments if you would listen and understand the do's and the don'ts, what to say and what not to say, which is very important in figuring out whether or not you leave in handcuffs or leave without them. Leave your feelings and your emotions, I say respectfully, out of the way and listen, learn, take notes, because this is going to be some lessons that you can for sure be guaranteed more than anything else that will prevent you highly from being in this situation that these couples ended in, unfortunately. So watch different parts of the video and I'll come back in between and discuss them. I'll be back.
Come here. Yeah, you are. Come here. Come on. Oh, I'm going to put my hands on you. Get out of here.
All right, now let's get right to it. Right off the jump start, you see that there's a problem that has already occurred. The customer speaks to the police officer in an aggressive manner. How so? First, he tells the police officer what he's not going to do. Then secondly, that escalated it even more. He tells the officer if his hands are put on him, it was going to be a problem. That alone can be interpreted in many different ways. Now you have to keep in mind, the officer does not know what's going on. He only knows by what he's been dispatched from his patrol car. And the call was indicated as disorderly conduct, or it could have been titled a disturbance. When the officer arrives to the scene, it is clear and obvious that the customer is upset, but him being upset and his frustration is now directed toward the police, who's there to try to figure out the problem. Now he has caused a problem for the police because he is not listening to the police, and he's telling the police, who's there to do his job as the police, what he's not going to do when he is the police. Do you see the issue and the problem already with this situation? That alone was enough to put that customer in handcuffs to be detained until he was able to figure out the problem. But the police officer did not do that. he was trying to assess and figure out what was going on, but it's very difficult to do so when the customer was already speaking hostile and negative towards him because of the situation. And that alone did not help this customer. Keeping in mind, it's over a situation regarding the price of $1 for an orange juice, when if the orange juice was purchased for $1, the Waffle House employee was trying to indicate that a beverage had to be bought along with the purchase of the orange juice for it to be $1. So all of this was over $1 or $2.50. Keep that in mind. Let's continue.
You want him trespass? No. He's gonna come off the entry. I'm gonna come off the entry. You want him trespass?
850-259.
Do you want him gone?
We're leaving, but we just trying to
Shane, step it up.
We ordered our food. We waiting on
Okay,
her charges
then
right.
pay for your food.
We're waiting on $1,800 and waiting on her charges right. We were trying to get her to fix the receipt, but she walked out and called you instead of fixing $1 thing on the receipt. Instead of just listening.
Okay, well then he should come out and talk to me like a man.
You have to come out here and talk to you.
Back up. Back up.
Hold on.
Shane, step it up.
Okay, now you see the cashier or the employee at the establishment is telling the officer that they need to pay their bill. And at the same time, the female customer was trying to let the officer know and speak to the cashier and speak amongst this situation, and she was calm. But what caused the problem to be escalated more is when the male customer began to approach the police officer in an aggressive way. Not in a way where he could have been shot, no. But enough that hands could have been put on that individual to maintain distance and safety for that police officer. And I'm glad the customer had enough sense. Once the police officer told him to back up, he backed up, and that was good. Now the situation escalated in this manner because I know the customer probably got even more upset when he was told that he should have been brought outside or should have walked outside to speak to an officer like a man. And maybe he felt as though he was being disrespected in front of his significant other. Okay. But it's not okay for you to approach the officer in an aggressive manner in any way, form, or fashion. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to help you, listeners. Let's continue to watch.
That's fine, because I'm recording too.
I don't care if you record, dude. What you don't scare me, man. What you talking about?
I just pulled that gun for no reason.
You put a taser
For no
on, you don't
reason.
even know the purpose.
At all, for no reason. You got other customers.
But
in
you
your
got
house.
what? You better be right. You want to listen to this white woman?
And you didn't listen to none of the story or nothing. You just came here back.
Are you going to pay for your food?
I weren't paying for our food. We're waiting
We
on her to
trying to
explain
pay
the
for
situation
it.
to us.
Okay.
You came here with a
Buy my
taser
food, call
and
big
everything.
bucks.
That's
But
what
you
came
did
here
that.
reckless,
You
sir.
got-
He came here the wrong way.
No, you ain't got to explain that shit.
No, he came here
He
the wrong way.
good.
He should have came
He
here like
good. Shit, I got Michael's in booth. He good. He can do what the fuck he want to do. I'm good. I ain't tripping about that.
I'm glad you got Michael's in booth.
I don't care. Shit, you better have a good lawyer. I ain't tripping, son. Shit. Put your hands on me, sir. It's gonna be a problem.
Because he ain't did nothing wrong with nobody.
Okay, now the second officer makes the scene. Now the taser's pulled and the female customer is indicating why is the taser being pulled out. Well, can't you understand why? Because you have an individual who is refusing to listen, who is refusing to follow orders. Now, on top of that, when you see the situation, what the female could have done, since she knows the individual more than anyone else, she could have, while she was yet calm, could have eased him down, separated him, backed him up, talked to the police officer since she was still calm at the point, cleared the situation up with the cashier or the waitress of the establishment, paid the $1 or the $2.50 and left the location. But no, the male customer indicates for the second time, while the second police officer was present, that if their hands was put on him, it was going to be a problem. What does that mean? How is the police officer supposed to interpret that? But even when that was said, I must say the officers was yet calm enough not to cause the situation to get even more out of hand at this moment. Let's see what happens next.
I'm in my own goddamn business. You want to understand why my bill, this top dollar bill, why my bill.
Can they get their bill?
Man,
She was explaining it to us and she ain't finished. She called you, so we were waiting till you finish with this. We'll wait till you
Have
finish.
they paid yet?
No, we're gonna wait till you
How
finish.
much is
We'll
your
wait
bill?
till you finish.
Oh, we're done.
No, you said for us to come out here and talk to him, so that's
They
what we
still
outside
haven't
for.
paid
Yeah,
their bill.
you
No,
pay
he
your
brought
bill,
us
we're
outside.
done.
He brought us outside.
You still gotta
So-
pay your bill.
We are gonna pay our bill. You want to come outside?
Um,
told me to
Go
come
inside
No,
and pay your
no,
bill.
officer
Tell
told us
nobody
to
come out and
outside.
talk.
Officer
You know what?
told us
You're about to get put in
man,
handcuffs,
you
bro.
ain't
Calm
gonna
down.
put me in
For
nothing.
what? He
Calm
did
down.
nothing.
What
He
you gonna
did
put me
nothing.
in, sir?
Calm
For
down.
what?
Calm
My
down.
hands in the air.
I'm telling you-
Record this.
I'm telling you
You
to
can't
calm
tell me I'm
down.
a grown ass man. You can't tell me nothing, sir.
Pay your bill and
I'm
leave.
not paying nothing. I want to know
We don't know what our bill
why
is
is my
high.
bill? You
That's
charging
what
me
she was
$250 for
saying.
orange juice?
Listen.
Hold up, hold up.
No,
It
if
ain't
you
no
don't
list.
pay your bill, you're going to jail.
We was out in
I'm
there.
not going to jail for nothing.
Okay, now both individuals are yelling. Both individuals are very upset. The male customer is now telling the officers that they're not going to do anything because he's not paying. Then he says that he's a grown man and the officers don't have to tell him anything. Think about that. Really think about that. Okay, even with that being said, they're yelling back and forth. The officers were still trying to indicate to them, pay the bill and just go. Pay the bill and just go. If the bill is not paid, what other choice does the police officers have at this point? Pay the bill. Well, let's see what else happens.
Explain to us.
My bill,
If we
explain
were
to
not
me my
gonna
bill is
explain
high.
to us,
Why you can't explain to
we
me?
cannot pay nothing with you if you can't explain.
Hold on, I'm
Pay
not
your
paying.
bill.
I'm not paying no bill because you
Then
said
you're-
it, sir.
Okay, cool. Watch this.
What you? What?
Hey,
What?
if they don't pay your bill, you want to press charges?
What? I don't care about no pressing charge. What you gonna press charge on me? When I'm willing to pay my bill, I want to
Are you gonna pay your
understand.
bill?
Are you gonna pay your bill?
Pay my bill.
I'm not
She
paying
explained
that.
it
You
to
can
me.
explain
Pay your
Why she
bill.
explained it to me?
Then pay it.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on,
let's
hold on,
make her
hold on,
explain
sir.
it. We was
Sir,
complaining,
hold on,
but we
no,
told her
calm
she was
down.
charging
Let's
too much money, so she called you.
No, let's talk, because this is what they want.
Then pay your
Sir.
bill.
I'm sitting here adding my bill up. How my bill this high?
Hey,
Hold on, I don't care
No,
what you
listen,
say.
listen. We listen to you.
Ask me.
Listen to us.
I'm
Listen to
asking,
us.
why my bill this high?
Turn
This is
around.
what we asked
Hold on,
her.
hold
Turn
on,
This
around,
is what
put
we
your hand
asked
behind
her.
your back.
Hold on.
Sir, this is what
Turn
we
around.
asked
Turn around,
her.
put your
What
hand
I'm going
behind
to
your
jail for?
For theft.
How?
Turn around.
For what?
For what?
Turn
What?
around.
What?
Because
Nothing.
I
Turn
asked,
around.
why is
right
my
now.
bill
What?
not
Put
being
your
paid?
hands
Turn
out.
around and put your hands behind
Are
your
you
back.
gonna pay your bill?
Wait, yes,
Turn
I'm paying my
around
bill,
and
but
put
why
your
is he
hands
doing
behind
this?
your
We
back.
asked him a
Right
question.
now.
We asked him to explain.
Go pay your
Turn around and
bill.
put your hand
No, I'm
behind
not
your
leaving
back.
my boyfriend out with this gun on him. I swear to God, I'm gonna pay my bills. He pulled that, take that gun off me. He's not did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all.
Turn around.
My hands in there, sir.
He did nothing wrong at all.
I ain't getting nothing.
None at all.
Get
And how you
that
gonna
name
take
to
me? I need your names too.
badge and what it called.
I
I
need
ain't did nothing.
everything because he did nothing wrong at all.
That's why my bill is high.
And that's her
She told me
explaining.
no.
And she called police. And
She
you not
told
even
me
let
no.
him explain and
I'm
talk to you
trying to
about
You
it.
gonna go pay your bill?
No, I want you to come here while she explained it to us. I'm
Yeah.
not paying her for that high bill.
Explain.
She's explaining
She
it to
told
me.
We had nothing to do with that.
Then why y'all arresting him if you don't have nothing to do with it?
Because he's not listening.
I'm not listening either then, if that's the case.
Okay, well
I'm
you
going
go.
to ask no, come let you explain my bills. I'm not
You
paying
go to
unless
jail
she
for
explains
theft
it
if you
right.
want.
No. Now,
I ain't did nothing. I'm trying to ask you why I gotta pay my bill.
she just said I don't have to pay until y'all talk to her. So why you say right there? Right here, ain't gotta go.
We have nothing to do with that bill.
Okay, so why you taking me to jail?
Why
I'm
you
asking
tell me
y'all
ain't
what
got
my
nothing to do with
bill.
the bill? She just said that she cannot
What?
take my money until she talk to y'all.
What's his
I'm
name,
watching.
man? Get his name.
I'm watching, but she said she cannot talk to us until she talk to you. What's your name, sir?
Get his badge and name.
Your badge number, your name.
Oh,
He
now
did
you
nothing
want
wrong.
it.
He did nothing
car.
wrong.
I
Why
ain't
you
did
handling him
nothing
like
wrong.
that?
Right
Why
now.
you
You
handling
need
him
to
like
back
that?
up.
I
In the
watch.
car.
I can't video. He handling him the wrong way for no reason.
Get in the car. All the way in the car.
You see, I can't get in.
Get in the car.
Can you wait till he
I
gets to the
can't
car?
get
I'm
in.
gonna put you in the car if you don't get in the car.
How can I get in, sir?
Figure it out. Get in.
Good.
130, you gonna sit for him?
Good.
Yeah, we're 10-4.
Copy.
Put your hands
No,
behind your
she
back.
won't talk to me
Put
till
your
you.
hands-
She will not talk to me till you come in there. She will not talk to me till you guys come in there. That man will tell you she will not talk to me till y'all come in there. That lady will not take my money till you know
Say
don't take
again?
my phone. Please do not take my phone. She will not talk to me until you come in there. Oh my God! He just threw me into the thing in my face on this thing. Oh my
Pull away
God!
one more time.
I'm not pulling.
Stop.
I'm not pulling. I'm not doing nothing.
Stop.
Oh my fucking God!
Stop.
He just fucking did that.
Stop.
He
Stop.
just did that for real. My arm is fucked up.
Stop.
My arm is rebuilding. He's taking it behind me. He just did that for
Stop.
real. I didn't do nothing
Stop.
wrong.
Stop.
I didn't do
Stop.
nothing wrong. Oh my
Stop.
God. I didn't do nothing wrong. You know
Stop.
I did. That lady will not talk to me without y'all. I did not do shit wrong. And you know I did. And you know I did. Oh my God.
Who's in charge? Come here.
Left side up. I just, oh my God. She will tell you that.
Okay, now we're coming up to a conclusion and I'm going to wrap it up to give you some more key points. The female customer says, why weren't the police officers explaining to them? And at the same time, the male customer is saying what he's still not going to do. He's not going to pay. The police officers are not there to dispute the price. That alone is a legal matter that you need to take up with the establishment. Listen to me. For any of you who has a future problem in this scenario, and it seems to be reoccurring over and over again, what they should have done and what you can do. The police are called at the scene. You see the police come up. Regardless of how the police approaches you, that's besides the point. Your job is to make sure that you don't end up being arrested. So what they should have done, and what you should do if you're in this situation, get the business establishment address, the employee at that establishment, write the person's name down, date and time the situation, leave that establishment, call the corporate headquarters, file your complaint with that employee of that establishment, and then wait and see for the results. Situation can be resolved. It is as simple as that. No arrest would have been made. The couple would have went home, ate their meal, relaxed. It was evening time, went to bed, all would have been well. But that did not happen that way. Now, knowing the situation and understanding a little bit more, if it was me, I would have came to the location. Assessing the individual was indeed upset. Okay. I would have respectfully asked, sir, come on outside, to draw him away from the hostile environment, to give him some time to calm down. And I would have listened to him. And I would have listened to his significant other. After I would have listened to them, I would have told them to remain outside. No need to go back inside the establishment. Then I would have went inside the establishment. I would have spoken to the employee and would have found out what happened, what could have been done, what is the issue. Then I would have told the two individuals what they had to do and what they could not do. Give them the incident number, or give the establishment an incident number of the situation. Try to ease the situation the best way so that all could have been well and handled a different way. Do you see where I'm going? Citizens of the free world, in this hour and time that we're living in, even though the intentions are high between the police and people in the communities, and negativity towards police officer has never been such like never before. But regardless of the fact of what you know or what you've seen or what you've experienced in your encounters with police, we are here to do a service. We are here to serve, and I'm one. And it is wise and only right to not quickly judge every officer by that uniform and disrespect or be hostile to every police officer. There's no reason for it. So I'm asking each and every individual to calm down, assess every situation, assess every approach, use wise words and behavior when you are encountered with the police, right or wrong. And if you decide that you're not happy, then you take the necessary and appropriate steps to make sure that your needs are being met and answered by each and every police agency. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I have a comic book called Hoverman Cop Fugitive Wanted that has just been released over a month ago. And in this comic book is a real crime and a real scenario and a real situation, a real confrontation that I know that can teach each and every individual around the world lessons on how to conduct yourselves and how to react when you are in presence of the police. And in this comic book, you will read in detail within the plots of the investigation how my encounter went with this suspect, what could have been avoided with this suspect, words, actions, behaviors that was conducted in the midst of this investigation, what could have been done and what wasn't done that spared this suspect's life, and lessons that you can learn how to remove yourself from dangerous encounters with other individuals in life. Within Hoverman Cop Fugitive Wanted, you would also be encouraged and understand the path that I've taken as Hoverman Cop. You can get that order from Amazon or hovermancop.com. Now, in my conclusion, I say to each and every one of you, it is my hope and prayer that you will find ways within yourself, within your home, within your communities to mend the broken relationships with police agencies in your communities and find solutions instead of the problems. That we all as citizens of this country can unite together against crime and injustice. And I intend to do my part, but I cannot do it on my own. Unite with me and let us together rid the globe of crime and injustice.